Hey, so one of the Heal Squad members asked me a question, so I'm going to do a video about it. And I'm going to title this video When He Flips the Script. So she said, can you do a video on when he flips the script? Here you go. I've noticed that sometimes when I try to be vulnerable to my man about my genuine concerns, he always flips it and somehow makes it about how he feels about things he observed. Yet it's not an honest way, but more of a tit for tat type of deal. Otherwise, most conversations go fine and are usually healthy and he is not defensive. When he is and we have conflict, he throws something back in my face, and that's set up as a false equivalence to whatever I'm talking about. It feels like sometimes he counters for countering's sake without noticing. I even notice how he slickly changes the narrative to make it seem like his concerns are about protection and mine get minimized by comparison. I would love some advice on what I could do to emotionally regulate myself better in such times so that I don't lose my cool and be able to get the conversation back to the point of why I started it to begin with. Okay, so OG, I'm gonna call you OG. Listen, one, I think, first of all, we know he does this because he's defensive. You've already pointed out he does this when he is defensive. So I would wonder, and you did put that detail here, and that's fine, but I would wonder or encourage you to pay attention to the things that he gets defensive about. Are these areas in which he already feels insecure? Or maybe he feels powerless? Maybe these are areas where he is working on them, so he feels some type of way when you bring it up. Is flipping the script okay? It never is. It never is. It's not okay for when you bring up an issue, now he has an issue. No, that's not okay. But I would be interested in maybe you paying attention to the certain things that you've brought up that he will flip something on you. I did a video about repairing a relationship, and so you might want to check that out. I think it's important that you have planned conflict. And what I mean by that is the two of you decide on a day and a time where you're able to discuss the things that are happening in your relationship, and you give each other space to voice what's happening so that this tit for tat is not going on, and you have fair fighting rules. And one of the rules is when I bring an observation for you, it's not for you then to turn on it and now you have an issue with me. We have separate times and spaces where I can bring my issue to you, you receive them, we work through them, and then if there's an issue that you have with me, then we work on that. It shouldn't be where I'm bringing an issue and then in order to, like you said, I've even noticed how he slickly changes the narrative, right? Because that's what it's about. It's about not wanting to be accountable for his behavior, his words, or whatever. That's also what this is about. I'm trying to change the subject because I don't feel comfortable sitting in the hot seat. I also wonder when you said, I want to know what I could do to emotionally regulate myself better in such times so that I don't lose my cool. I also wonder how you're bringing him the information. Are you bringing your concern to him when you've reached your limit, or are you bringing the concern to him prior to you reaching that limit? Okay, so you're already cool before you have the conversation with him. Are you bringing the conversation to him when you're annoyed, when you're upset, when you're highly emotional? Now, let me say this. Okay, you are a human being. And some conversations just have to be had. Sometimes the people in our life need to experience our emotion. Experiencing your emotion doesn't mean you're being disrespectful, doesn't mean you're being unkind, doesn't mean you're being crude and rude, doesn't mean you're attacking. If you're hurt, he should see that you're hurt. If you're disappointed, if you're frustrated, he should be able to see that. But you still can experience and feel the emotion and still communicate to him how you feel. So sometimes there's going to be some heated exchanges. Okay. So to put that out there, but I'm also curious about how you usually bring these things to him. Okay. I would, if let's say for instance, I bring something up to him and he says something back, I would just gently say, baby, you're changing the focus of the conversation. I want to talk about this and you're bringing something up, and your complaint is valid, but I would like to focus on this, and I would like to resolve this issue before we move to the next one. Another thing you could do when a time of calm, you can bring up to him and you can say, hey, sweets, I notice whenever I bring an issue to you, you deflect it, and then you tell me what's wrong with me. And that makes me feel ABC 1, 2, 3. That makes me feel unseen, makes me feel unheard. It makes me get defensive because I thought we were on the same team, and I thought that I could bring issues to you or something that is difficult for me. I thought I could be vulnerable with you, but I'm noticing that when I bring something to you, you flip the script. That makes me not want to be open and honest. And I know that is detrimental to our relationship. I want this to be a safe space for the both of us. I want you to be able to bring your concerns to me, and I bring my concerns to you, and they're respected. Now, of course, you give them some space to kind of talk in between that, okay? But I think that's the type of conversation that you need to have. Now, there's some manipulation going on here, because you said, I even noticed how he slickly changed the narrative to make it seem like his concerns are about protection and mine get minimized. Minimization is not okay. And you have to teach him that. For the other ladies watching, when a man minimizes your needs, your wants, your desires, I want you to address that quickly. Hey, I feel like you are saying that buying me flowers is not important and it's not a big deal, but it's a big deal to me. I will respect the things that are a big deal to you, and I'm asking that you respect me as well. You may not understand flowers. I don't understand NASCAR, even though his team just won. But when you sit here and you're watching NASCAR, I sit right here with you, and I root on your NASCAR team. I like daisies, roses, and tulips. You don't let nobody minimize. I don't care. Husband, boyfriend, supervisor, friend. You don't let nobody minimize you. You take up your space. Okay. All right. So I talked minimize. Seems like his concerns are about protection. This right here, that's manipulation. That's manipulation. So let's say, for instance, you say, hey, babe, oh, you going out with your boys? Okay, cool. You look good. Don't be having them girls out on you. Oh, it's funny that you said that because you wore a dress yesterday that I didn't like, and you went out late at night. You're like, but you didn't tell me that, and I was just kidding. Well, you need to be careful. You shouldn't be out in a dress like that. Or a woman who's married to me would never wear a dress like that. You represent my name. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to keep you. Okay, hold up. What you trying to insinuate by I wore a dress and I need to be careful? Well, I'm just saying, like, that dress was really short, or that dress was really showing off your body. And so, I don't want you to get no unwanted attention from a man. And I'm not there to protect you. You got to address that manipulation. Now, you can't say you're trying to manipulate me. You can't just be like that. You know what I'm saying? But you can be like, okay, I hear you. That's a valid concern. But right now, we're having a conversation. I really was joking, right? You ever been joking with somebody and then they say something to you and you're like, oh, that's how you've been feeling the whole entire time. Okay. Right. But you can say, listen, well, actually, I wasn't being serious. I was joking, but it sounds like you have a real concern. But the way that you're presenting the concern has me concerned. Okay. Because like it says here, you preference everything every ought you have with me, or every situation you have with me, you seem to always feel as if it's very legitimate. But when I bring up a concern, you minimize my concern, or you make it seem like my concern is not that serious. And that's not fair to me. When I bring a concern to you as my man, I expect you to take it seriously the same way I would take seriously whatever concern it is that you're bringing to me. Okay? But there's some issues as it relates to your communication, the way the two of you communicate with each other. Okay? And then when you say, don't want to lose my cool and be able to get the conversation back to the point of why I started to begin with, just go back to your point. Go back to your point. Hey, baby, he's a, like let's say you bring up to him that you want more date nights. And let's say you're like, hey, baby, you know, we haven't been really able to spend a lot of intentional time together. And I'm just wondering if we can plan a date soon. I would really love to go to the opera. You know, we got bills and I gotta work. You always try to spend money. Every time, you know, I turn around, you want to spend money. No, we need to be saving. And you're like, well, it's not that I'm trying to spend money. I just want to, I want to connect with you. Well, we got bills that we need to pay. So what is it that we're going to do? You want to go out to the opera for a date, but we got bills we need to pay, which is legitimate. But he just bought a pair of Jordans. So you say, okay, because sometimes you gotta, like, there's a therapy that called motivational interview. You gotta roll with the resistance. When you feel the resistance, you just gotta roll with it, right? Don't fight it, just roll with it. And you can say, you know what, sweets, you're right about that. But let's talk about us spending time together. Maybe we can't go to the opera, but maybe we could go to dinner and a movie. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. If he keeps going on whatever his point is, then that's showing you he's not being emotionally mature. Okay? And again, sometimes in the moment, it's not for you to have that conversation. Maybe later. Baby, there's times where I bring things to you that are important to me, and I feel like you reduce them. I feel like you minimize them. I feel like you deflect. I feel like you flip the script. You change the subject so that you don't have to address the things and the matters of my heart. I believe that we should be accountable to each other, and we should be able to hold each other accountable. In what you're describing, because I don't know him, okay? He is avoiding, not just being defensive, but he's avoiding accountability, especially as it relates to accountability to you, okay? And sometimes this happens, again, because you may be touching a part, you're highlighting something he may be insecure about, but you may also be highlighting something, a behavior he doesn't want to change. If you're like, because one of the Heal Squad members wants me to do a video about a man and his female friends, let's say, for instance, you're like, babe, I get concerned with Veronica calling you. Let's say Veronica is his female friend. Like, she calls you a lot. Almost every time you walk in the door, you're on the phone with Veronica. He like, I don't say anything to you about being on the phone with Jason. Now, Jason, your cousin. Your first cousin at that. You like, yeah, because you be talking to Jason. You be telling the family our business. And every time we have an argument, I go around your family. He doesn't want to be accountable. And so now he's flipping it on you so that you back off. So you got to pay attention to that. Okay. Well, I hope this video helps. I hope I gave you some tips. You know, I love stuff like this. So I may not be able to get to everyone's question in video form, but you are more than welcome to put a question down below in the comments or a scenario down below in the comments, and I will answer it for you. This will be our live coaching. Okay. My name is Samantha. This is Heal the New Sexy. Until we talk again.